You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
These employees that are always wanting, a pat on the back, I don't have time for it. You think people are running by me telling me what a good job I'm doing on this show?
Hi-yo!
Jeff Lutz.
Never. And there's a reason for it. You're not doing that good of a job.
Oh, shocking. Monstrous.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Listen to this if you can.
Hello again, everybody. It's a Friday edition, the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. We are excited. We have a three-man booth for you today, but not our typical three-man booth. No Jason Duda. The big fella here, Anthony, who plopped down in the easy chair and may never leave. So what do you want for dinner, Anthony?
Let me see. I'll take well-done steak, baked potato.
Well done steak?
Yeah, well done.
Well done
A
steak?
baked potato
Nobody eats that, do they?
and a juice drink.
There you go. The juice drink is back. You going to start in on him?
Already, well done steak?
I like mine medium well.
I want
That's
mine
a little
well
too
done.
medium at the most. Is plenty. I
thought you loved animals.
don't get the well done.
Yeah, well done, crispy, blackened. Not burnt, but blackened.
That takes all the taste out of it, and the flavor and the juices.
Oh, no.
You just try it medium or medium rare one time for me, and
Put some of that rub on there.
why don't you just have a hamburger?
I don't want a burger. I want a well done steak.
There's nothing wrong with that. You get what you want, Anthony.
Yeah, there's a little wrong with it, but we'll address that later.
We're going to make you eat some chitlins.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I've heard
That'd
of
be a
them.
good thing for you to eat.
I don't know what chitlins are.
You don't ask.
Should I have? Maybe if Iowa State makes the Final Four next year, I'll eat some chitlins.
How you been?
I'm better.
You had some rib issues last time we hooked up.
Man, we've been having rib issues since the beginning of time.
How do you like your ribs done? Well done also on the ribs?
I tell you what, I would prefer they not be fractured.
So what is your favorite restaurant in town, as Jason Duda would ask? I'm curious. Where would you and the wife go tonight? Maybe you are, if you could pick anywhere to go.
Oh, man. See, we had this conversation last time when we had a restaurant guru on. So I'm trying not to get in trouble. But
Well, who are you going to get in trouble with?
wife, she would like someplace like, what's that place out up north? Park City? Get off the bypass.
Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, she would like something like Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel's good. I don't have a
Nothing wrong
problem
with Cracker Barrel. Especially the dinner where you can go with the chicken fried steak, and they give you like 12 sides. They give you the biscuits. It's all beautiful.
They
at
got some
Cracker
pretty good
Barrel.
fried catfish and baked catfish as well, too.
I'm sure, yeah. I
Have
believe
you ever
it.
had the catfish at our concession stand?
No, I haven't. I guess
Yeah, well, they cook it, and they cooked it quite a bit this year, and they grilled it, and people rave about it. Now, I'm not a catfish person. I don't know. My wife loves it, but
the
everybody
smart way.
loves it.
She's a smart way.
Everybody who orders it comes away with just we may have the best youth sports concession stand known to mankind.
You said catfish. I'm sold. I'm all in.
They do cheese fries. They do cheese nachos with a special cheese, really seasoned well. They know how to season the French fries. They've got kind of a secret ingredient. They grill up the burgers and the links and the hot dogs, and it's amazing.
Well, I'm gonna try to make it out there this Monday. I need to see this taste it for myself.
Exactly.
Championship Monday for the Vipers.
Why don't you just let Anthony and I visit? All
go
you're
for
doing is trying to knock
Mike's
us.
off.
All you're doing is trying to knock us for, the concessions at
I'm
McAdams,
knocking you.
the well-done steak.
I mean, but how many youth concession stands have you been to? Youth sports concession stands.
well, I can't imagine one matching up to ours.
Really?
Yeah.
Of all the youth sports leagues
Right.
in the United States.
Right. I can't imagine one that's better.
All right.
I can't. I've heard it over 11 years. The patrons who go there, I've heard what they say.
That's good stuff.
I've tasted it myself. There just can't be a better one.
All right.
Our very own Denise Neal and Jamie Green from the Wichita Eagle. Jamie has touted the hamburger as the best she's ever had.
Interesting. Speaking of hamburgers,
That's pretty high praise.
I'll go for the fish sandwich because you could tell I don't need no burgers.
What were you saying?
we get the Culvers coming into town on Monday. Does that do
Who
anything
cares?
for you?
Just another. I thought a guy posted today on Facebook and hit the nail on the
Pat
head.
Handley.
Yeah, it was beautifully written.
Yeah, So every town has chain restaurants. I don't know what the big deal is. They all.
But he's right about them.
Then
They'll
don't
be hot for a year, and then they'll cool down, and then
It's just Brahms. I mean, it tastes exactly the same as Brahms.
I like Brahms.
Well, then go to Culver's.
I don't need to go to Cole.
You then go to Brahms.
Now that hamburger joint on Mays Road, is it a chain? Dickies or
Huh?
there's a new hamburger place where Logan's used to be.
Really?
You know what I'm talking
I
about?
know exactly what you're talking about. I just haven't tried it, but based on the girl that worked there, I picked up when I was doing Uber one night. She said it's worth coming there for, so I had to try it and give you a review.
Any kind of burger place is worth trying.
Yeah, that one intrigues me a little bit. I just read this morning that there's a new place over here, real close, over by this new Italian restaurant on 21st Street, a place that does cream puffs. Just opened.
Cream
No, it doesn't do anything
Cream
for me.
puffs.
Cream
And
puffs.
then people are saying it's unbelievable.
Cream puffs.
And I can't think of the name of it.
Huh.
I'm
I
sorry
thought
to hear
cream
that.
puffs usually describe the softness of a football team.
Well, I hear you, but they had cream puffs at DeFazio's. Did you ever eat at DeFazio's
I think I missed that one.
on
You need it
Amadon?
DeFazio's?
Quit knocking, Anthony.
I'm just saying.
Anthony,
Good grief.
you have my permission.
He said he doesn't want to get in trouble for naming restaurants, but I don't know. Is it that you just can't name any? Is that
Here's
the
Jeff?
thing?
Jeff feels threatened by you.
Yeah.
No, really. This is how this is going today.
Anthony,
Big fella.
whatever comes out of his mouth, hook him up to a lie detector.
Here's what I've noticed about Jeff. Anytime we try something new here, and this is a new three-man variation.
Uh-huh.
We've done Duda with the three-man many times. I thought it'd be fun to go with you today. But Jeff, all he's thinking about is, this guy might be good enough to take my job. I don't know if
Please
and
do,
that- and that's
Anthony.
the
I'm
kind of
begging
stuff-
you to take my job.
Well, I tell you what, I could be the Shaquille O'Neal, and he could be the Charles Barkley. Hey, Chuck.
I'm Charles Barkley.
See,
He's at best.
see how
He's at
insecure
best.
that man is. I'm Charles. No, I'm Charles Barkley.
He's
like,
at best Kenny
I'm
Smith.
threatened though.
He can probably run to the video board faster than either of us, but that's about it.
He'll be the Jet. Kenny the
Whatever.
Jet Smith.
Puffette, is that what you're talking
That's
about?
it.
Puffette.
Puffette is the cream puff place.
Just opened. I drove over there this morning thinking it'd be open. It didn't open until 11 or 11:30.
Any relation to Puff Daddy?
Maybe so. Probably not at this stage.
But it's got
of
a
his career.
variety of cream puff options. And I'll be darned if I'm not going to try it at some point. I love a good cream puff.
I don't know that I've ever had a cream puff.
Well,
Don't feel like my life is worse for it.
once you've had one, you'll want
Sickies
more.
Is also the Sickies Garage Burgers and Brews
Yeah, there you go.
over on Mays Road. So we got those two issues resolved. What the names of those local, maybe not local businesses?
Here's what we have on the show today. At 2:25, Ron Nugent. Great swimmer in the state's history from Wichita East High School back in the day. He is finally being inducted into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Ron Nugent, a name familiar to most Wichitans. He's been around here forever. And we'll catch up with Ron.
Is he a dentist?
Coming up at 2:25. That's correct. At 3:25 today, Dylan Dreiling, who just had a phenomenal season with Tennessee, the College World Series champions. As a sophomore, Dylan Dreiling had, let's see here, I wrote it down. He hit 341 with 23 homers and a team-leading 75 RBIs. That's all fine and good, but what he did in the postseason is remarkable, and we'll talk with Hayes native Dylan Dreiling coming up at 3:25, the grandson of Hayes Lark's coach, longtime coach, Frank Leo.
Really? I did not know that. That's impressive.
How about that?
Nice little lineage there.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Did you ask him if he was related to another Dreiling, and he said no, but I am related to Frank Leo? Is that how that went down?
No, I just do my investigation.
And well, tell us then.
I just ask questions. I got a hold of Frank Leo because I knew he was related. I didn't know he was his grandfather, but somebody told me he was related and asked if he could help get Dylan on the show. And Frank, here's what he said. You've been so good to the Larks over the years.
What have you done for the Larks?
I'll do anything for you. And your son, I couldn't care less about.
What have you done?
That's exactly what he said,
What have you
Anthony.
done for the Larks, or that you've been good to the Larks?
That's what he said, Anthony.
What does that mean exactly?
It means we've developed a relationship over the years.
I don't know if someone I cover is wanting to say I've been good to. You know what I'm saying? Like
He
maybe
appreciates the fact that I covered the NBC World
maybe
Series
you've been
for as
fair
long
to
as
the
I
Larks
did.
would be a better.
No, everybody who knows me knows I'm not
You've
biased.
you've been fair and balanced, and you've
You
been.
see, this is the jealousy I'm talking about.
I'm so jealous.
See, I usually hear it on the radio. Now I get to see it firsthand. I got front
I'm so
row
jealous
seat.
of Bob's
Only thing
relationship.
missing is a nice cold brew and a box of popcorn.
We can make the popcorn happen. We don't have any brew.
It's too bad.
I've never been one to have beer in my house. Isn't that unusual?
No, that's not unusual.
Feels unusual. Most of my friends had beer.
I'm not a beer guy my own self, so you know when I guess when I say brew, I better straighten like a nitro brew, like a.
There've been very few occasions in my life where I've gone to the refrigerator to get a beer. Just doesn't happen. Now, when I've been out, I've had more than my share, but not at home. I think Jeff can attest to that.
I appreciate that. I think.
What do you mean you
I don't
appreciate
know. I don't. Maybe I would have become a drinker if alcohol was in the house. That's how I first drank alcohol. Of course, is because someone was in the house.
What
But,
was in the house?
Vodka. I've told this story before.
Well, I thought I had it hidden.
No, you had it on top of the microwave in plain sight. Who isn't going to give that a shot at age 14?
Well, you couldn't have liked it.
I drank quite a bit of it.
Really?
I'm not sure why. It was just fascinating to me. I did not like it. That's correct. But I was fascinated by it, so I kept going.
In the house by yourself.
Oh, I think Randy was over the first time.
Randy have a drink?
What do you think?
Of course not.
Of course not.
Randy is the son. Well, I won't say that.
Wow, go there. Really? You want a boring son? I'll pass on the drink of vodka and the adventure.
So Randy's a boring.
No, he's wonderful.
Well, you can't have it both ways.
He's my best friend in the world. A little boring, though.
I thought I was
A little boring.
You know what Randy is? He's a smart and he's wise and he's just a good guy.
Right.
Just a good guy. Solid dude.
You have friends like that you can depend on to be
although
a rock for you.
Although he was letting it on like molasses, I'm kind of something quite didn't add up.
I had friends like that, although all my friends were wild. Not all of them, but the core group of my friends growing up, we were a little bit out there.
My friends were like this. I have friends in low places.
And nothing wrong with that.
There you go.
I don't think any of us had friends in high places.
And all my exes live in Texas.
All right, are you excited for? Listen, these are slow times. There's no other way around it. There's just not a ton going on outside of Major League Baseball, the WNBA, which is fascinating. I'm more interested than I've ever been. I'm not tuning in a lot. Unless I know the fever's on in Caitlin Clark, I'm probably not going to make it appointment television, but there's a chance I'll try to watch a game.
I saw something. Go ahead.
Why I'll say it like this. Since you're speaking of women's basketball, that's why you have to start at the local level. Like last week, I was in Andover. They had a nice event out there, and that's how you get to start knowing them at a young age. I mean, think about it. One of the state's best player as a ninth grader last year, Maddie Vickery, she's already getting offers to Oklahoma State, Arkansas. You got other young talent like that, so you have to start knowing them while they're young and then follow them. And then,
Hold your mic to your mouth now.
He's right there. He's got it.
That way,
he started to express himself with both hands out. And
he did? Good job, man.
Right.
I'm here to be a leader. You're the kind of guy that, Anthony.
I'm not going to take a guy getting criticized like that. Anthony's getting passionate.
I didn't criticize. I said, Anthony, remember to keep the mic to your
That sounded critical to me, but I don't know. Whatever you want.
Did you take that as criticism or instruction?
No, I was kind of getting expressive there, so I'm kind of in and out like Luther Vandross. So, but no,
we don't get those references on the show normally.
But that's how you get to know these ladies and get to follow them. And then one of the big knocks was, well, the reason we don't follow the WNBA, we don't know nobody. What if you start knowing them at the young level? And throughout their high school and college career, then you'll start knowing more of them, then you can follow them.
But somebody like Caitlin Clark, who's drawn me to the WNBA, is going to help me learn more about the players that play in the WNBA, right? I mean, I'm going to become more familiar with the whole league. That's the value she's had for a lot of people, not just me. There are a ton of people who are more invested now in getting to know at least a little bit about the WNBA.
I have a question for you, Anthony. Last year, the leading vote getter for the WNBA All-Star Game had 95,000 votes. How many do you think Caitlin Clark got this year?
She got like 700,000.
700,000.
Yeah. I featured that on my cast the other day. I'm like, if you look at the numbers, I mean,
this is a guy who follows sports. I want you to know.
Look how they
you didn't know it.
Matter of fact, 95,000 might have been generous. I thought it was more like 70-something thousand.
It was Asia Wilson at 90. That's what I read at 95,000.
And then they made a typo in that graphic because they said she played for somebody, but when she played for the Las Vegas Aces, I caught that.
Well, that's amazing. So yeah, the All-Star starters were announced in the American and National League for the MLB All-Star Game coming up a week from Tuesday. The uniforms were rolled out. They're atrocious.
Guardians only got 2. I thought they might get 5 or 6 starting All-Stars.
Yesterday, we had the 4th of July, no national games broadcast. I don't get it. On Christmas, we have NFL games.
Wall-to-wall NBA.
On Thanksgiving, we have NBA games and NFL games nationally broadcast. Baseball's got to figure something out.
There were no games on ESPN yesterday?
No.
What'd they run?
I don't know. Didn't have a baseball game.
Interesting. You sure? I
am sure.
That's too bad.
That's bad PR.
It is bad.
That's bad.
MLB Network carried a bunch. Boy, I watched the Phillies. I'm sorry, not the Phillies. The Mets and Nationals for a little bit. Tuned over to the Cardinals. Went back to the Mets and Nationals, and it was over. They played in an hour 50. They got that game finished, 1-0.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Welcome to the Cleveland Guardians, Spencer Howard.
Who cares? You got a ragtag franchise.
Who even is that? He's got to be pretty good, right?
You got a ragtag franchise, and that's the way it is. Magic, 5-year, $225 million max rookie contract with Franz Wagner. Magic are going to be good. We're jumping all over the place, but the Orlando Magic are a team to watch. The Eastern Conference has at least equaled itself with the West in terms of interest.
Yeah, I'm still going to go with Oklahoma City.
In the West.
In the West. And I'm going to go with the Lakers is going into basketball purgatory.
Yeah, they're in trouble.
LeBron James is the team general manager, the team coach, and they got Bronny James. You know, that was all orchestrated by LeBron James.
They've just thrown a bunch of parts together, and it's going to be a disaster. And LeBron will move on, and his legacy will be slightly tarnished.
Tainted.
Not greatly tarnished, because he's had an amazing run, but the end of it will be pretty uninspiring.
He's going to be compared to Jerry Jones, how he can run a franchise into the ground.
Well, outside of the COVID year when they went to the bubble and won, you have a pretty good point.
Does that even count?
It does.
I guess it has to count. Since
They
they played the games and they were on the floor and they won, it has to count.
That was a Mickey Mouse championship.
Certainly not one that will equal others, but it does count. And isn't that the year the Dodgers won also?
Yes, that's correct.
So L.A. gets a couple of them. Now the Super Bowl, that was normal.
Yeah, because it happened before.
So yeah, L.A.'s championships, most recent for both franchises, not tainted, but
Did the Rams
diminished.
win the one after COVID, or was
I don't
that the
think
year
so.
after?
I don't. I'd have to look.
The Lakers have one more thing they can put on their mantle.
Yeah,
They won the
Mid-season
inaugural
tournament?
in-season tournament. So
I hated that.
that's LeBron's legacy right there.
Yes, it is.
All right, time for a break. We'll come back and talk with Ron Nugent, Wichiton, one of the great high school swimmers and college swimmers that this state has produced. He joins us next. He's going into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame in October. Stay with us. It's the three-man booth with the big fella. Back in a minute.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
We are joined on the IHOP hotline by Ron Nugent. He is going into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame finally this fall in October. That ceremony will be held in Topeka. They announced their Hall of Fame class late last week, and Ron was a part of that. Mr. Nugent, welcome. It's always a pleasure. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
We are very thankful for having you. You are somebody who did incredible things in the pool as a kid and a collegian and as an amateur. And how did you feel when you were notified that you're going to be one of the inductees in this year's Hall of Fame class?
I was very surprised, and I felt very honored. I got a call from Jeff Cummings. Jeff from the Kansas Sports
Jeff
Hall
Bowling.
of Fame, and yes, well, and I thought maybe someone was just messing with me, to be honest. One of my friends. So, but anyway, I was honored.
Yeah, so I don't think there are many former swimmers in the Kansas State Hall of Fame. There are some, of course, but not a lot. So how does it feel to kind of be carrying the banner for that sport? And what does that sport and that community, the community of swimming, still mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, it's like any sport. I think, if you participated, it helps kind of shape you, and so swimming kind of helped shape me for life. It taught me a lot, just about working, setting goals. And so that means a lot to me. But the Sports Hall of Fame in Kansas, that means a lot too, because, Kansas is not really a hotbed of USA swimming. And there's really no reason for that. I mean, water's water. That's what we used to say, so you don't have to be in California. You don't have to be in Florida, Texas, wherever. We can swim fast here in Kansas, but that hasn't always happened. So I feel very good that swimming is represented in this year's class.
Talking with Ron Nugent, graduate of Wichita East High School in 1978. Although he did not swim competitively at East, you were swimming for the Wichita Swim Club, an organization you belonged to for many years, an organization founded by Bob Timmons, who ironically went on to become the swim coach and track and field coach at East High School and then at KU, where you started your collegiate career. So I want to know the impact of the Wichita Swim Club and then also Bob Timmons in your athletic life.
Well, Bob Timmons was gone from Wichita Swim Club by the time I started, but it was very important that Bob Timmons started Wichita Swim Club back in 1954. So 70 years ago, the club's been going for 70 years. And he was kind of a giant, a true leader. And not only did he coach Wichita Swim Club, then he, helped develop Jim Ryan. And then from there was the track and cross country coach at KU. So my dealings with Bob Timmons didn't come until I was a student at KU, but I just really respect Bob Timmons. Even I think while he was coaching at KU, he was developing probably the best cross-country course in Kansas at his Rimrock Farm, So the guy was a worker. Oh, I respect Bob Timmons.
What, Ron, what was the year 1980 like for you? Because that was maybe the peak of your swimming career. You obviously made the Olympic team. You had a great performance in the trials. You saw that the U.S. Went to the Winter Games, elected not to participate in those summer games. So I'm just curious, because that had to be really bittersweet that you were so good and could not represent your country on that stage.
Yeah, well, thank you. In the fall of 1979, late August, early September, I went to the World University Games with the U.S. National Swim Team, and I won the 1,500 meter freestyle, and which I wasn't expected to, but I did. And after that race, the head national team coach came up to me and he said, "Ron, I really believe if you devote yourself, you have a chance next year to make the Olympic team." And that was kind of the first time someone outside my local sphere of swimming had said, "Hey, I believe in you. If you work hard, you have this chance." So I went back to SMU. I was starting my sophomore year, and I thought about it for about 5 days, and I decided I was going to sit out of school that year and come home to Wichita and train and work part-time. And so I had kind of put my life on hold for a year just to try to make that Olympic team. And so then around March, Jimmy Carter made the official announcement that we would not send an Olympic team to the Olympic Games. So I didn't think it was going to happen at first. I just thought, this is talk. It'll all get squared away and we'll still send a team. But it was pretty plain and clear shortly after that was not going to be reversed, and we were not sending a team. So it was disappointing, I guess, but I still had my goal of trying to make the Olympic team. And so it didn't matter to me whether we were sending a team or not. That was my goal was, I put my life on hold for a year. My goal was try to make that Olympic team. So
and a year later,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Ron.
Go ahead.
But a year later, in '81, you did go to Moscow to represent the U.S. national team. Tell us about that journey. That has to be one of the memories of a lifetime.
Yeah, it was. We swam the Soviet national team in a dual meet in Kiev, actually. Kind of ironic nowadays, but it was an outdoor 50-meter pool. Nothing fancy, but it probably seated maybe 4,000 spectators, and they would open the gates and the people would just run in. It was something I had never seen before, but we had a good time. We beat the Soviet team 203 to 141, so pretty sound defeat, and that kind of gave us, I guess, a little bit of redemption on not going to Moscow for the Olympic Games. So that was kind of the height of the Cold War. So we would kind of laugh. We stayed in a sports hotel, and when we would leave our room, we would leave lights on and everything, as our part of kind of trying to get back at the Soviet Union for invading Afghanistan. We had fun, laughed about that a lot. So,
final moments here with Ron Nugent, heading into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame in October. One of the great swimmers in our state's history. So you competed. You didn't compete at East, but you were competing in the late '70s into the early '80s. Graduate of 1978. I covered high school sports at that time. It was an amazing era in Wichita. Just so many outstanding athletes in so many sports. Were you aware of all that?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that Darnell Valentine and Lynette Woodard and I were all on the '80 Olympic team, which came, I guess, a couple years after that.
That's pretty good company for you, Ron.
What's that?
I said that's pretty good company for you.
Yeah, it was. So I think we were probably all pretty proud of that fact. 3 kids, I guess, coming out of nearly the same year in high school. So,
did you know them previously? Had you come across them in any of your athletic endeavors or anything else?
No, I didn't meet Darnell until I got to KU. So, so we got to talk some. He's a nice guy. I didn't really have any. I didn't get to meet Lynette at all at that time. So, we didn't mix too much basketball and swimming, but I did meet Darnell. So, and I enjoyed talking with him.
Since we're talking, Ron, so much about the past, can you tell us what you're up to now? Obviously, you've worked in Wichita for quite a while, but how do you spend some of your other time?
Well, I swim. I still swim each morning before work at Wichita Swim Club. I'm out of the water right now because I had ear surgery about a week and a half ago, so I can't be in the water yet. I've got to be out of the water for a couple months. So, my time, I have 2 children, one who just graduated from high school and the other who's a sophomore in college or just finished her sophomore year. So a lot of our time has been spent with them. My daughter swam at SMU the last 2 years. She's not going to swim next year, but I got to go down and watch SMU swimming meets, which is kind of really reliving some of my youth. I really enjoyed that.
Well, you had a remarkable run, not only athletically, but in your personal and career life. We really appreciate it, Ron. It's good to catch up with you. Congratulations on this honor, and have a safe summer, and good luck at the ceremony in October.
Thank you very much. Thank you again for having me on your show.
Thank you.
All right. Ron Nugent, headed into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. We'll talk to several of those folks in the coming weeks. The big fella Anthony here to complete the 3-man booth with me and Jeff today. The chair. What do you think, Anthony? Be a nice chair to sit and watch television in, wouldn't it?
This is one of those chairs when you sit in it. Make sure you plan on staying here because it will suck you in. It will not release you. You will be held captive by this chair.
That is Duda's favorite chair.
I see why.
He runs right to it every time he comes in.
How many
good
times
chair.
have you had to wake him up?
Exactly. That's the problem with that chair. It's so
Not really
comfortable.
conducive to radio. We got to stay active here, stay alert.
Well, my chair's fine. I stay active.
I wasn't talking about your chair.
I'm not worried about it. If Anthony
Well,
wants
I
to
wasn't-
nod off,
it
he's a
didn't-
guest in my house.
Okay, not off then.
Your chair rocks. His chair rocks.
Keep that microphone up by your
This chair
mouth.
right here,
Jeff
though.
doesn't like it when I say that.
You're doing just fine, Anthony. Put the microphone wherever you want. You know what? I've got a good place over to my right where you could put it.
Really?
We
You
don't
want
know about
Anthony
that.
not to be heard on the show?
No.
We don't want to know
You
about
know what
that
I'm
part.
referring to.
We don't want to know about that
And the
part
sun
where
doesn't shine there, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
what you're going to do.
Maybe a
Here's
little.
My wife bringing Anthony water.
What
She
a-
hadn't
what a
offered me a
wonderful-
water in 8 years of doing this.
Well, you already always
I
have
do
some.
not believe that part.
And
Not
you
one
are
time.
not a guest.
Not
You should-
one time.
You should get your own water. You live here.
Not one time has she said, honey, would you like a water? I'll be happy to bring you
Yeah,
one.
that's never happened. Debbie doesn't offer you a drink every 4 seconds. Like,
It's crazy how much I have to fend for myself around here. Royals drop a series to Tampa. Now they go out to Colorado, and they play a Rockies team that's not very good, but I hate playing games in Colorado.
it's not
because
good.
you can never tell what's going to happen. That team is fickle as all get out, but I don't like – they came into St. Louis and split a 4-game series. I don't like Colorado. They make me nervous. I've never liked them.
Well, you shouldn't have lost 2 at home to Colorado. On the road, it's a different story, and things get freaky, and it's weird, and games can be high scoring, and you just don't know what you're going to get. Guys that hit 220 on the road are going to hit 320 in Colorado. So, yeah, it's just it's a mixed bag. It's a box of chocolates. It's everything you think it is, and it's not easy.
I'm trying to figure out, though, how did Kansas City drop a series to Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay is
Tampa
one of
Bay
the
is
best
getting better.
franchises of the last 15 years.
Oh,
in
now
Major League.
you've opened it. Now you're talking about something that Jeff thinks he knows about.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, it's a big secret in baseball, Anthony, that the Rays have been good.
good luck. Good luck. Because this year Tampa Bay hasn't been very good, but they've gotten better lately.
Let me tell you another secret of the game of baseball. Yankees are usually pretty good too. But I don't want to get into something that I think I know about. So maybe
This is so obvious.
we could move on.
This is so obvious to me.
Here's something that's
to the listeners.
maybe you didn't know this, Anthony. Lakers and Celtics have been the banner NBA franchise.
Look how you're just you're using Anthony, my
No, I'm
very
saying
good
this
friend.
This is stuff that I know that not a lot of other people know.
See, I also know
These are big secrets that the Rays have been good and the Yankees.
I
And,
also know something else, though, about Florida baseball, though. Regardless how good they are, they can't even draw a high school gym.
the Rays play in a terrible stadium and a terrible location and don't get a lot of people out there.
They did inch above 500 with that win yesterday against the Royals, and they are firmly in the wild card race, as is pretty much every team in baseball. The Rockies, meanwhile, are terrible, but they make you nervous when they're at home. Royals got to win 2 of 3 at least. They just took 2 of 3 against Milwaukee in Colorado.
Yeah, like I said, they've won some games there. I think they had, before the Guardians came in, they had swept somebody there. It's a tough place to play. There's no question about it. And as we scoreboard watch, we root for the teams that are playing the Royals, and we root for the teams that are playing the Minnesota Twins.
I don't.
Just
We is
as
certainly
Guardians
not,
fans.
there's no Guardians fans around here.
Yeah, I'm talking to one right now. Scott Griffiths, maybe my best friend ever.
Really?
Yeah, you like that?
Because he's a Guardians fan?
No, because he's been there for me. He's stuck by me, and
Well, What do you mean stuck by you? Would you go to prison?
Yeah, maybe I
don't know.
did.
What happened to you?
Maybe
What
I
do you mean
did.
stuck by you?
What is
You had a
your
dark
problem? You
period
want to
in
go
life?
right now?
You got a dark period in your life that only Scott Griffith stuck by you?
Yeah, he stuck
who,
by
you,
me.
Johnny Cash?
Stuck by
I
me
mean, for
through,
God's sake,
through thick and thin.
what
are you-
dark
what are
period did you
Johnny
have?
Cash? Let me make a reference that nobody understands. What are you,
Anthony, I just want to talk
what,
to you.
what
for
are
a
you, Wink
second.
Martindale over here?
I want to talk to you. This is Jeff when he's got anybody sitting over there.
Okay.
He feels
No, it's
empowered. He's wanting to impress you. He's wanting you to leave here today going, you know, that Bob and Jeff show, it'd be really tough if Jeff left. That's all he's going for.
No, I don't
today.
care, Anthony.
Sometimes y'all remind me of Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbur.
Well, but I mean, you know, well, this guy, I mean, he's just so defensive today.
What do you mean I'm defensive? When you offend, I'm going to defend. Yeah, that's how that works.
Well, how did I offend you? You're over there saying
Oh,
he's
Jeff
stuck by
thinks
me.
he really knows about baseball because he
I mean,
thinks the Rays
I'd
are
like
good.
to know what you mean by he's stuck by me.
He's been a good friend.
Well, what period of life did
When I had to
did you have your friends desert you?
when I had to deal with you every day, they said, "Man, I don't know if I need to be a part of that." So there's a lot of
So
them.
they deserted you?
A lot of them left. Yeah.
Well, they weren't your friends anyway.
Exactly. I mean, if those are the kinds of friends you have,
Sure don't need enemies in.
Maybe not. But Scott stuck by me through it all.
well, good for him. I will say this about Scott Griffiths. I don't know anybody who knows more
I
about
don't know
professional
anybody
wrestling.
that's.
And are we going to watch the event tomorrow here?
I don't know anymore.
Really?
I don't know anymore.
What does that mean?
I mean, I'm offended.
You're offended by what?
Just not feeling good about things right now.
About what?
I have to think about stuff. I have to go home and really ponder whether I set foot in this house.
Oh, really? Well,
Again.
let us know, because are you available Monday if he decides not?
Yeah, I'm available.
All
man.
right, there you go.
I'm available.
We'll make it work. 869-1240, the IHOP hotline. Don't forget about
Some
the
of that, Anthony, was real, but not a lot. Some of it was, but
two
not
by
a lot.
2 by 2 meal special at IHOP. Their breakfast, you can get it for $7. A couple eggs, a couple slices of bacon, a couple sausages, a couple pancakes, whatever you choose. A 2 by 2 by 2, $7 at IHOP for
Yeah,
a
who
limited
wouldn't want to
time.
be a part of that deal?
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be a part of that deal.
Exactly. We're in the. See, we agree on something.
It's an awesome deal. Who are the people on whose line is it anyway?
Colin Mockery, Wayne Brady.
Looks like we're going to get Colin Mockery on this show
Really?
coming up.
My wife will be thrilled when I tell her that. Ryan Stiles they're coming to Wichita, I assume.
Yes.
We need to get Jacob Dillon on the show.
Looks like we're also going to get our good friend, Beach Boy Mike Love,
Really?
coming up on this show. That will be his third appearance for Mike Love.
Impressive.
Mike Love would be in the discussion as the most notable guest we've had.
No, there is no discussion.
Who's the most notable?
He's up there, but it's Steve Martin and Martin Short.
I'm talking musician.
Well, Gene Simmons probably.
Mike Love would Mike Love be above Gene Simmons?
No.
Boy, think about that now. Yeah, I don't think that's
I don't
not
wanna-
an educated opinion.
I don't want to disparage anybody, but Kiss played sold-out arenas. Beach Boys are playing at the Cotillion.
Who's the more legendary group, Anthony, coming at it
Well, that's
from...
not what we're
from-
asking, but go ahead.
Is it Kiss or the Beach Boys?
Now, see, I couldn't tell you, though, because I really never listened to Kiss and I really never listened to the Beach Boys.
Never listened to the Beach Boys.
Now, if you want to say something about some jazz artists, then I can.
Yeah,
You know, we just lost one not too long ago. My saxophone,
David Sanborn,
David Sanborn. And he played with a little bit
which
of
was
everybody.
tough.
Yeah.
He played with the Eagles.
He played with everybody. He was one of those ones that you knew his distinct sound.
He played on the Sad Cafe,
He did.
which, yeah, you know it now because I said it.
Oh, I knew that. What am I, a moron?
I'm just giving you the facts. you know what I mean.
Speaking of the Sad Cafe, a song I can play pretty well on the drums.
Well, it's got 3 drum spots.
No, it's all drums.
You hit the alto drum 3
Alto
times and you're
drum.
done.
That's not really how that song works. It's actually kind of challenging. But I am teaching myself and gotten pretty good at playing Life's Been Good, which has been my life's mission probably for all of life, is to play Life's Been Good on the drums.
You know who you need right now?
Uh-uh.
Your friend Scott.
Well, Scott wants to support me. He's always stuck by me. So, yeah.
He would probably say, that's really cool. Good congratulations.
I'll tell him tomorrow if he's not listening now.
So we are having the function here tomorrow?
We're thinking about it. Randy will not be available.
Why not?
He says he's out of town.
Well, I got things I need to talk to him about.
Well, you know,
I enjoy having discussions
you have his number
with him.
Yeah, we all do.
We talk about North High baseball.
That's what we talk about.
And I'm extremely interested in that topic.
A lot of League 42 kids over there.
And a couple that we're sending there that I want him to get the best out of them. You know?
He will. He's a top-notch coach.
I want the development to continue. I see the development, and I want it to continue, and I need to talk to him about that. Maybe he'd bring me on staff.
You know what? You know what would be a good idea? Leaving him alone, letting him coach. Maybe.
I think he likes talking to me.
You think so?
I'm going to text him right now.
All right, text him.
I am.
Go for it.
At the break.
What are you going to say to him?
Randy, do you like talking to me? And we'll see what he says.
All right, good luck.
I like talking to you.
Thank you. We've talked forever.
He needed that.
So when you do your podcast, do you have a microphone stand that you talk into, or?
Yeah, I got a stand. It's have it right there, and just.
Where do you have it, in your basement?
No, it's in the room adjacent to our bedroom.
Okay.
So I got a room specifically for that.
And how can people hear your podcast, Anthony?
I usually post the links where they can check it out.
And how do they do that?
It comes across
We're trying to give you the opportunity to promote right here.
It comes across on Spotify, iHeart, and other listening platforms, such as got one on Odyssey as well, too. So
there you go.
And what's it called?
It's the A-Train Sports Talk
A-Train
Podcast.
Sports
There you go.
Talk
City to
Podcast.
city, state to state, coast to coast, always picking up a passenger.
We've been both
I like
on the
it.
show.
Both of you have been on that show. I claim it to be the #1 podcast in the state of Kansas, but I'm kind of changing that. It's the #1 podcast to give young student athletes a voice.
There you
Nice.
go. Well, we like that. We love your devotion to high school and even younger, but especially high school sports and athletes. Good stuff. All right, time for a break. We got an hour left. At 3:25, we will visit with Dylan Dreiling, the star of the College World Series for the champion Tennessee Volunteers, sophomore out of Hayes, Kansas. Dylan Dreiling will be our guest in hour number 2. We got the big fella, the 3-man booth. We'll be back.
Radio.
Now it's time for another fanschmabulous episode of
The Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
You're going to tell this listening audience, who adores me, let's be honest.
Oh, behave.
Jeff Lutz.
I'm spreading my wing. This is me to the nth degree.
Wow! Hey! Isn't that exciting?
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Stand by for action.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, the Bob and Jeff Show on KFH Radio. We all had a good 4th of July, although I got to say I'm over the fireworks, and hopefully tonight is a little calmer. I just your thoughts, Anthony.
If only my dog could talk about fireworks.
Didn't like them.
Matter of fact, I went to let him out, and I caught myself closing off the bedroom door because I knew what he was going to do. Door wasn't shut good enough. He runs into the bedroom like a scared child. Wife is asking me, why is this dog in here? I said, because he got scared, and I thought I'd shut the door, and he came in here, opened it with his head.
I have to go out with Misty and basically just follow her, and she wants to come back, but if I'm out there with her, she'll do it. But it's just too much. Jeff lives out in rural America. Probably don't have to deal with it all that much, right? You're not.
Yeah, there was some stuff, but it didn't last very long last night, and didn't go into all hours of the morning. Some of it was loud, but not much. It was okay.
Well, now that you can shoot off the aerial stuff,
it was
legally,
manageable.
Were there any fires? What did Storm Team KWCH Eyewitness News have to say about that?
About what now?
Any fires?
Didn't see any of that. There were some. Wesley sent out a thing that they had 21 hospitalizations, but only one person has not yet been released, and that person needed surgery. So I don't know. That's all I heard about the fallout from the 4th of July.
My question is, where's all this money coming from?
My question is, was it Jason Pierre-Paul in?
I don't know.
Represent guy.
Jason Pierre-Paul, who got his fingers blown off by fireworks.
Oh.
I don't think that appeared to have happened in our community yesterday. But fireworks are still allowed
apparently
until
Anthony
midnight.
thinks that was funny.
It's kind of funny.
Well, I mean, it is kind of funny, but not to Jason Pierre-Paul.
No, he put together a nice little career even after that happened, and was productive and made a lot of money. So good for him.
Well, there's many times that he blew up an offensive line, no question about it.
That was a good one right now. That was a good one right
See
there.
that, Jeff?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Did you miss that?
Yeah, I did.
Why don't you ever say that?
What did you say? I'm dealing with some stuff.
You
over
didn't
here.
hear me?
He heard you.
I said, you're
heard
right.
No, I didn't.
You really didn't hear that?
No.
I said there's many times he blew up an offensive line. Good stuff.
I don't get it.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I get it, but why is that funny? He already made the joke, so it's over and done with.
OMG.
Right. Thank you, Anthony. There is no question. I've decided the number of people who get me vastly outnumbers the number of people who get you. It's just not even
I don't
close.
need to be gotten. That's not a priority
Did you agree
for
with
me.
that?
Now he sounds like Tyler Perry's alter ego, Medea.
Does Medea say that a lot?
See, now he's going to turn on you.
Always
That's
talking
okay.
about the Godders. If you don't get the Godders will get you. Something.
Well, that makes sense.
I don't know if it makes sense, but
I don't need to be got or get it or gotten. It doesn't matter.
I'm with Anthony. Whatever he said.
I like it. I've never seen any of the Medea films. You don't listen to the Beach Boys. I appreciate this cultural amalgamation that we're experiencing.
So
right
with
now.
all the changes in collegiate sports, Anthony,
Oh man.
are you going to follow it with the same enthusiasm as you always have?
I will follow with guarded optimism because you never know when the next change is going to come.
Who's your team, collegiately?
Well, I'll admit I like Oklahoma State. Football wise.
Well,
I choose them over OU.
Jeff can't stand Oklahoma.
Not that I can't stand Oklahoma State.
I've had family go to Oklahoma State. Did have some that go to OU. We prayed for them.
Did you ask them how long back has your family gone to Oklahoma State? Like what was the first year? Like just an estimate.
It's been a while. As a matter of fact, I had
just give me an estimate of the year. Just I need an estimate.
I'll give you you'll know the time frame. R.W. McQuarters.
So
that's a while.
So
that's a while.
What, 25 years?
Not that long.
20 years? 20 straight years of 8-4. How did your family feel about that?
I don't think it was 20 years of 8-4. I think
it's basically that,
Anthony. You have your Cowboys mixed up. I think you have your Cowboys mixed up between Oklahoma State Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys.
My point is, Anthony, 8-4 pretty much every year for Oklahoma State.
8-4, we can do it 8-4. As long as we beat OU every now and then, because
that series is over.
Catastrophic things have happened when OSU has beaten OU. One year, Lincoln Riley said, "You know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going out west." And now the people at OU call him Tebow and not Tim Tebow either. And we're not going to reference what that Tebow actually means.
I don't want to.
Let's fact
is that a well done steak? Maybe.
Let's fact Jeff.
You know what I mean. I'm not saying they've literally gone 8-4 every year.
Here's Oklahoma State.
They don't win anything that matters.
2008. Okay, so we'll go back close to 15.
Hold on,
a little
before
more
you
than
start.
15 years.
Before you start,
Here's what they've done under
hold
Mike
on.
Gundy.
Can you hold on?
9 and
I'm going to
4.
talk over you unless you hold on.
9 and
9
4.
and 4. Can I say something? Whatever you're about to do is only going to prove my point.
Okay.
So continue.
9 and 4 in 2008. Then 9 and 4, 11 and 2,
11 and 2,
12 and 1,
12 and 1,
8 and 5,
8 and 5,
10 and 3,
10 and 3.
7 and 6,
Ooh.
10 and 3,
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 7 and 6,
7 and 6,
8 and 5,
8 and 5,
8 and 3,
8 and 3,
12 and 2,
12 and 2,
7 and 6,
7 and 6,
10 and 4.
10 and 4.
So in those
You're welcome.
16 years, they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years better than 8 and 4.
Okay.
Out of those 16. That's not 8 and 4,
That
right?
sounds better than 8 and 4. So I think he fact checked you that time.
Well, I bet their average record's about 8 and 4. How many Big 12 championships?
You didn't say anything about Big 12 championships.
What I said was they are a fraud, and they will continue to be a fraud until they actually win something of consequence.
They finished first in 2011. They tied for first in 2010. They've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There you go, Anthony. One
6
outright championship in 17 years.
seconds. They've had a bowl record since 2010 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I think Mike Gundy has done a very good job as a coach of Oklahoma State.
He's done a better job coaching the team than he's had managing his hairdo.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Jeff just has something against Mike Gundy.
No, I don't. I could care less about Mike Gundy.
You could or couldn't?
I could care less.
You could? Well, then you must care something.
No, you don't. Man, I have to explain this to people all the time. It's a colloquialism. It's a turn of a phrase. It's not a literal phrase. I could give a crap. I could give two blanks.
Yeah, you
about
know who
that.
talks like that?
Normal
people with no education.
Normal people talk like that.
People who
Is that a word?
who last remember going to class in the 7th grade.
Who last remember R.W. McCorder as being
Here's
a
what the
significant
normal
piece
inflection is. I could care less.
Good. I could care less then about Mike Gundy. It's the
That
fact-
be the case?
it's
Yeah,
the fact that
cowboy.
it's the fact that we put them in the mix every year and think, oh, this might be okay, and then maybe
They've had a
they
good
might finish
run.
third.
They've had a very good run.
Of doing what?
If you want teams to win all the time,
No, I want them to
for
win
Oklahoma
one.
State in Stillwater, Oklahoma, to be at the level it is pretty impressive.
So Norman, Oklahoma is some metropolis.
Oklahoma's a much bigger school.
Okay, then let's Manhattan, Kansas. I mean, it's not like it's booming with these huge.
K-State's had a
cities.
good run. They haven't had that record over the last 16 years.
I actually kind of like KU too.
Mike Gundy's had a better run than K-State's had over the last 16 years. So I don't know exactly what you're getting at.
I'm getting at what I always get at. I don't know how much clearer I
But
need
you're
to
not-
say it.
You're trying to get at
They're
it,
this
but you're
team
not
that-
getting there.
They're a pretender. I mean, that's just all that Oklahoma State is and will ever be.
I just gave you their record. I think Anthony and I
What did
stand
they
united.
win? What did they win? One big.
They won the Texas Bowl last year. They
oh
won
wow! Who'd they beat?
They won the Fiesta Bowl in 2021.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that's pretty good. They won the Cheez-Its Bowl, the Liberty Bowl, the Camping World Bowl, the Alamo Bowl, the Cactus Bowl, the Heart of Dallas Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Alamo Bowl, the Insight Bowl, and the Independence Bowl.
If you can name
all that under Mike Gundy.
If you can name
That's
one,
a pretty good run, right?
If you can name one opponent in any of those games, I'll give you $1,000
Okay, you want an opponent?
without clicking.
In the 2021 Fiesta Bowl, they beat Notre Dame.
Without clicking anything.
That's pretty good, right?
So you don't remember that game.
In
Next.
the 2011 Fiesta Bowl, they beat Stanford. In the 2015 Sugar Bowl, they lost to Ole Miss.
By 1 million.
In the 2016 Alamo Bowl, they beat Colorado. Good run. Congratulations,
Here's
Mike
something.
Gundy.
I have a question with all
Wait, I got something.
Go ahead, Anthony.
I got something for Bob from your wrestling guru, Scott Griffiths. Chad Gable is the Oklahoma State of wrestling.
Chad Gable's a major star. Thank you, Scotty.
He is? What does he
Go
want?
ahead. Go for it.
I got a question with all these bowl games, and I'm pretty sure they're going to add another one. I mean, we got Cheez-Its, we got Pillsbury Doughboy bowl game. Why don't they just have a bowl game at Arrowhead Stadium since they're going to lose the Chiefs and call it the Arrowhead Bowl?
That's not a bad idea, but they're going to tear down the Arrowhead Stadium, most likely.
In the words of a former K-State coach, that would be sad.
Have you been drinking that? What do you got in there? I mean,
Probably.
you said you drink juice. Juice can be defined in many different ways.
Is this a syrup?
I've known a lot of people who drink juice.
Scissor? Is that what you got
and
going on?
eventually things go bad for them, if you know what I'm saying.
This is good old H2O, and this is good old H2O.
What's your favorite? What juice are you kind of liking right now? 'Cause last time you were here, you mentioned pineapple and
yeah, pineapple. Yeah,
With the smoothie. It was a smoothie, though. It got like spinach in it and stuff, right?
you could do that. You know, make it into a smoothie, or you could make it into a juice drink. Matter of fact, people, you know, you might not know this. Well, both of y'all know this. There are some people that listen to this, but one of my musician friends said he was actually tuning in the last time I was on, and he hit me up on Facebook. It was like, hey, I need some ideas for some juice. So you never know who's out there listening.
you never do.
Yep. So his name is that doesn't matter.
I hope he's listening today.
I hope he's listening today too. He'll let me know. He'll send me a message on Facebook. And
I mean, you're part of your responsibility here is to build up our listenership.
that's right.
On the days you're on, and even not.
That's
You're
right.
supposed to be out there promoting
Yeah,
the Bob and Jeff Show on KFH
I do.
and all of our programs.
I do.
Thank you.
People that listen to my podcast know, hey, I'm part of the KFH family now.
This is a major family you're
I mean,
a part of right here.
I tell the former people, you know, thank you for letting me get my start, but it's time to move on. I think one of them was kind of butthurt.
Yeah, you're on to bigger and better things, but that's okay.
Well, I mean, it's like
You got to step on people to get to the top.
like starting in the minor leagues and getting to the big leagues.
Yep.
And I'm not going to be presumptuous enough to say we're the big leagues, but I'm kind of the big.
Hey, you know, League 42, so there's a
Very
league in there
fragile.
somewhere.
Say that again.
I said League 42, so in there's a league somewhere.
That's a big league organization, no question about it.
So we're in the big
Well, I
leagues.
like to think so.
Of course it
We
is.
work very hard to make it that. And anyway, today I had a coach sign up on Facebook. He's going to bring his 8-year-old grandson, and he's going to coach in our Bruin division and our coach pitch
Little
division
coach pitch.
next year. That excites me beyond belief. I can't even tell you how cool that is when that happens. If you're interested, not talking to you guys, but talking to our listeners, in coaching in League 42, reach out to me. We can make it happen.
How many games does a League 42 team play?
Depends on the age group.
Man, I would love to coach in games. Practices would be hard.
Why?
I just don't have a whole lot of time.
He got the Allen Iverson mentality.
I would love to.
Well, that's kind of the practices are kind of
I know,
important.
but I don't think I could be a head
Practice.
coach for sure.
I mean, I've never heard that before.
What do you mean?
Just put me into the games.
I didn't
and-
say that. I didn't say just put me. I would say I would love to do that, but I don't think that's realistic.
Well, I don't understand
Practice.
it. I'll never understand it. Let's get to Ed. Ed's
Who?
holding. Ed, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Oh, I'm doing great. Hey, I just wanted to give this little fact to Jeff that OSU has 34 Big 12 wrestling championships, numerous national ones. OU has
I love Oklahoma
3.
State wrestling.
OU
Yeah,
has
We're
Oklahoma-
talking
Big
about
12.
football here.
He is talking about football specifically, Ed.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry I turned in late then.
Are you satisfied with Mike Gundy?
Yeah. I
Oh, there you
played
go.
there in the early 70s under Jones, so yeah. No biggie.
Well, there you go. And if you happen to run into Jeff on the street, just give him a forearm shiver,
He probably
and
could take
everything
me.
will be fine.
He played under Jones. That's serious
Pat
stuff.
Jones.
Yeah, Jones.
Pat Jones. You don't know who
He
Pat
played
Jones
under
is?
Pat Jones.
Thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
You don't have any clue.
I love Pat Jones.
No, you don't. You don't even know who Pat Jones is.
Coached at Oklahoma State in the 70s. Duh.
He coached, yeah, he did. And he coached Barry Sanders, by the way. All right, we'll take a break. It's amazing what my son doesn't know.
Pat Jones?
Yeah, Pat Jones was after Jimmy Johnson, wasn't he?
The progression was Mike Gundy. Before that, Les Miles. Kind of forget about that. Bob Simmons. And before that, Pat Jones. Pat Jones, by the way, coached in the 80s, not the 70s.
Right.
Uh-oh, that guy didn't know when he played.
Ed must have played under Jim Stanley.
And where was Jimmy Johnson at then?
Jimmy Johnson coached from 79 to 83.
So I would be correct.
Good job, Anthony. Pat Jones right
Johnson.
after. Ed was testing us.
All right, we'll be back with Dylan Dreiling, standout from the College World Series from the University of Tennessee, Hayes native. He'll join us next.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show.
Dylan Dreiling is with us, standout baseball player from the University of Tennessee, from Hayes, Kansas. Just completed a fantastic sophomore season that ended with a national championship for the Volunteers and was highly instrumental in making that happen. Dylan, we're very happy to have you. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
We're very happy. Your grandfather, Frank Leo, has been instrumental around baseball in these parts for a long time. So before we get into your career, tell us a little bit about that relationship and learning from a guy who knows about as much baseball as anyone I've been around.
Yeah, it's cool. Started when I was little. Probably 9 or 10 years old, I would go to BP with him and take fly balls in the outfield and hit. And then I was the bat boy pretty much every game, so I was always around the field, and it taught me a lot, just being around college guys all the time. And then I started getting older. I started my sophomore year. I started playing with them a little bit when I was in town. And then same with my junior year, and then after my senior year of high school, I played the whole summer with them. So it really taught me a lot just about, the game and everything around it.
So obviously, you didn't just play in and win the College World Series. You personally starred in it and hit a lot of home runs, a lot of very meaningful home runs. Just curious what that feels like, because I know when you're in the box, you kind of have to turn the brain off a little. You want to be as stoic and calm in those moments as possible. But, when that stuff actually happens to you, what goes through your mind and body?
Really nothing, honestly. A lot of those moments were, pretty big moments, some of the biggest moments I've ever played in. And when it happens, you kind of just black out and you really don't, take it all in until, the week after or so. So when we were there, we were just, focused on playing baseball. It wasn't thinking, anything about it, really, just trying to win as many games as possible.
We're talking with Dylan Dreiling, standout player from the University of Tennessee. Just a remarkable year, 60-13 for the Volunteers. And here's what Dylan did in the NCAA tournament. 21 for 47 at the plate, 6 home runs, 15 RBIs in 12 games. If you want to get even more centralized, in the College World Series, 14 of 24 with 11 RBIs in 6 games, and in the 3-game best of 3 against Texas A&M, 7 for 12, 3 home runs, 1 in each game, and 7 RBIs. You got hot at an amazing time, and really you were hot all season Just describe this sophomore year for you, Dylan, and how it's increased your awareness, and the awareness of people in the game of baseball about you.
Yeah, it was a special group of guys to be around all the time. We kind of all just fed off each other, honestly. You know, when your leadoff has one of the best stat lines in the country, it's pretty easy to, you know, we kind of all just went around him, I feel like, Christian Moore. It started with him, and if he got on, we were rolling. So he was a big part in it, and then, you know, just 1 through 9, it was probably the best lineup I've ever been around or seen. Maybe not for my grandpa being around the Yankees back in the day, but it's for sure it was a scary lineup, and we kind of just fed off each other.
184 home runs for Tennessee in 73 games. That's absolutely crazy, but it happened, and we saw it with our own eyes. Go ahead, Jeff.
So, you know, Dylan, as a freshman last year, you were more kind of pigeonholed in that platoon role. Didn't get a lot of opportunities against lefties, but did not have a hit against lefties. And then this year, you just dominate lefties. You dominate pretty much everybody. So was that something that took a lot of work? I got to figure out lefties and really put the time in, or was that just a matter of you getting opportunities and knowing you could do it all along?
I would say I knew I could do it all along. It was more, you know, some media outlets that said I probably, you know, couldn't hit lefties, blah, blah, blah. But there was never a doubt in my mind that I couldn't hit lefties, and I just had to, you know, keep working and keep seeing them, and it paid off this season.
Yes, Dylan, I'm looking at some of your credentials right here. 2024 ABCA All Southeast Region Second Team Outfielder, 2024 All SEC First Team Outfielder. One of the things that stick out also is academic honor roll, and that's one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about. So how do you manage balancing all the accolades in baseball and at the same time maintaining your academics?
Yeah, at Tennessee, academics is a, you know, huge role that you have to kind of take on being on the baseball team at Tennessee. You know, there's no skipping class, none of that. You're getting all your homework done, and that's our academic counselor for baseball. She's unreal. She did so much for us all year long, and, you know, make sure we're kept in line in the classroom, and she's a huge part of it. And then really just, you know, going to class and, you know, getting my work done. I just tried to balance it as well as I could with baseball, and it worked out for me.
Talking with Dylan Dreiling, standout player at Tennessee from Hays, Kansas. So just I want you to talk about your coach because Tony Vitello is a charismatic guy. What's it like playing for him?
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, he's an unreal dude who he's just another guy who he's your best friend and coach all in one. He's the ultimate player's coach. He wants to win as bad as anybody, and that really feeds into the entire team. And it's just, you can't really say enough about him. Such a good dude, and just wants to win as bad as anybody.
So I'm never 100% sure, Dylan, with sophomores, but you are draft eligible, right?
Yes, I am.
And I've seen, you know, lists where, you know, you might go in the top 3 or 4 rounds or so. You know, how do you prepare for something like that? What have you done since the off season? I know you might get sent to an affiliate, maybe you won't, depending on what happens. But how do you kind of stay ready, and where's your mindset with all of that right now?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been doing the the same thing I would do if I wasn't eligible, I guess. I mean, hitting, lifting, just hanging out this summer, seeing what happens. It's really not on my mind that much because I'm in a really good position where going back to Tennessee, who, just won the first national championship, has been on the come up for the last, 5-6 years with Coach Vitello. It's not a terrible option for me. So either way, whatever happens, happens, and I'm just trying to keep a clear mind about it.
What's the best thing about growing up in Hayes, America? And how did it become Hayes, America, in your viewpoint, Dylan? Because so many of us just refer to it as Hayes, America. What gives Hayes a special meaning for you?
I don't know. It's just a special place. The baseball's pretty good here with the Larks, and just there's a lot of baseball guys here, and just athletics in general. Some of my best friends are Power 5 linebackers, and being all from the same class in Hayes, it's pretty special, and some that not a lot of classes here have done. That's pretty cool, and I think we just all helped each other out in high school with different sports and lifting and all that, and it paid off for all of us. So.
Well, we are thankful that you came on the show today. We appreciate the efforts of Frank making that happen. We appreciate you agreeing to make it happen. We've enjoyed the conversation, and we'll certainly be following the rest of your baseball career. Thank you, Dylan.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Dylan Dreiling from the University of Tennessee, the standout player in the college baseball postseason.
He was it.
I mean, these are crazy numbers.
Yeah, insane. He just didn't cool off the entire run, the entire postseason.
In the Super Regional against Evansville, he was 1 for 10. Take that away, the kid was 20 for 37 in the other games in the postseason.
20 for 47 or 21 for 47, still pretty darn good.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. It's almost 500.
Close.
I'll take it. I'm just pointing out.
I got
For some reason, Evansville handled him.
I don't know. That's why Evansville almost took him right to the wire.
Texas A&M didn't.
It sure didn't.
So it's a funny game, right?
I mean, he demolished a 3-game winning 2-run home run in the top of the 7th against A&M.
And what's interesting in that series against Evansville, Tennessee scored 31 runs. That shows the depth and power of their lineup because he did not do a whole lot in that series. Meanwhile, against Texas A&M, they scored 15 runs in 3 games, and he accounted for 7 of them. Just I like baseball numbers. They fascinate me.
And there's another fascinating thing. When you look at what he did in the regular season and what he did in the postseason, how many times have we said players seem to disappear in the postseason, put up great regular season numbers, disappear in the postseason? Well, his numbers outshined his regular season numbers.
We call that clutch, Anthony.
We do.
I mean, only person you could really pin that to would be Mr. October.
They had
Mr. November, Derek Jeter.
They had 5 players with 20 or more home runs. Just unheard of. Now, they played some extra games. They played 73 games. But that's still remarkable. And it shows you the power of the SEC. While they were very good in the SEC, they did lose 8 games in conference play. Just how good that conference is when it comes to baseball.
Yeah,
How many players with how many home runs?
They had 5 players with 20 or more home runs. They had 8 players with double-digit home runs.
And that's why I say to this day, Wichita State was the pioneer in college baseball because of what they did before baseball really got big in college. Think about those numbers they used to put
I'll
up.
think about that, but college baseball was somewhat big. Maybe not as big as
More
it
on the
became.
coast than in the middle of the country.
But there were some iconic baseball players who played college baseball.
Of course. He's talking about how it became.
Well, don't tell me what he's talking about. Anthony's
well, you
in his
misunderstood,
50s.
so I'm going to try to help you.
He can tell me what he's talking about.
Well, obviously, you didn't get it, so that's
If
on you, not Anthony. But I'm trying
stop
to
and
help.
Think about it. Back in the days before they had the beautiful stadium, Wichita State was boat racing teams like 25-2. 30 to
Yeah, that
whoever
no
heard of putting
doubt.
30 points up in a baseball game. Wichita State was doing that, which is why they had to change the game a little bit. They had to go out and get pitchers because that's when the saying came up. Good pitching beats good hitting.
They had two of the greatest players in college baseball history very early in their baseball life at Wichita State. Joe Carter and Phil Stevenson.
Right.
Very early.
And when you think about
Didn't take them any time at all.
And when you think about it, who was putting money into baseball stadiums on college campuses until Wichita State started?
Good point. But let me make most of the good points from now on, okay?
Fragile.
What have you thought about actually being in the Lion's Den with the two of us today?
I feel like Daniel.
From Karate Kid? What am I missing?
I don't know, but Anthony's got these references that he gets them.
Good.
And as long as he gets them.
Who's Daniel?
He was in the Lions Den.
Oh.
Well, there you go.
Didn't your mom and dad take you to Vacation Bible
That's
School?
a biblical reference.
Okay. I think yes. Once I was at
even
Vacation
Pastor Mike
Bible
would have caught that one.
Boy, we miss Pastor Mike. You know, I think about him every once in a while, and just a great. He and Dennis are, in my opinion, the two greatest sports talk callers ever in Wichita.
You knew when Dennis was on the phone because he would come in. I tell you what, I mean that was his signature, and whatever he talked about, he pretty much knew what he was talking about.
He watched sports wall to wall. And
yeah, we don't. Just a unique man, Dennis Lively, and of course Pastor Michael O'Donnell, and I don't think sports talk radio has been the same in Wichita without him. Frankly, I mean, it's just been there's been nobody to really carry that torch.
Jim 35.
Jim 35 is great. We love Jim 35.
Where's he been, by the way?
I don't know. It's not I haven't looked in on him.
But I'm just saying, when we go this long without hearing from him, you start to get.
It'd be nice to hear from him. He may have some things going on.
Maybe he gave up on us, which is,
well, he would never
be
give
the
up
first
on
time.
me.
Fragile. But yes.
Yeah, I mean, he just wouldn't. I've developed a relationship with Jim.
You have?
Sure.
What's his last name?
Well, I don't know. 35, 87.
Yep, that's it. You nailed it. Jim 3587. Hut.
Omaha.
Right. It's a good dude. But anyway, Anthony, we're glad you came over today.
I'm glad to be here.
What do you got planned for the weekend?
Probably not too much. Just taking it easy.
Nothing really to watch.
Got a full week of work next week, getting back in the swing of things.
Well, there you go.
Same.
Now I'll be tuning in to St. Louis Cardinals baseball tonight because they've won me back, and they really never lost me. I'm addicted. I can't help it. It is what it is. And they got a 4-game series against the Nationals in which they'll face 4 left-handed starters.
Crazy.
And they faced one yesterday.
Everybody but Irvin, I guess.
Yeah, he was good yesterday.
He was.
I hadn't seen him pitch that I remember. He was I only watched a couple innings of that game.
He was electric.
But what do you mean? You didn't see it?
Hey, he struck out like 9 in 8 innings. And
Did
then
you see it?
I just watched the highlights. But no, I did not watch it. I was at work.
How'd work go yesterday?
It was fine.
Did you have the cookout?
Yeah.
Who showed up?
There were 10 or so people.
Did you get to meet?
We sat at the tables that my wife and my daughter and I sat at the tables that TJ put out there. They had nice chairs and.
Did you get to meet
nobody?
Ross Jansen?
Nobody sat with us.
Nobody sat with you?
Nobody sat with us. They all bailed on me.
I could tell you who didn't show up. I didn't because I didn't get an invite. I would have said.
This was for Channel 12 folks,
I
but
would have sat at
otherwise,
the table with you.
I appreciate that.
Why didn't they sit with you?
they sat over by themselves. All the young folks, I think they were intimidated by us. I don't know what the
How
deal
about
was.
Ross Jansen?
Ross Jansen didn't stay to eat.
They were being bougie.
Oh, that's too bad. Why didn't you go sit with them?
We were the first people out there.
Yeah,
and everybody else sat away from us.
I don't know what to think about
if
it.
TJ's listening, I'd like an explanation.
I'm not going to worry about it. TJ, you do what you got to do.
TJ's a good guy.
Yeah, he's 15 years younger than you, at least.
He's a nice person.
Got nothing to. Anyway, thanks for listening today, everyone. We'll be back next week. We'll see you Monday.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.